Hi there, it's Andrew Weiler here. Good to be here. I've come across a lot of students who talk to me about the fact that they have trouble memorizing the words, or if they do memorize the word they're learning in a new language, when it comes to using it, they don't seem to be able to remember to use them. So they go to a lot of trouble memorizing these words, sometimes 10 words a day, sometimes 20, sometimes more, and with little result. It seems on the day they can remember the words, and maybe even for a while longer they remember the words, but then it basically just gives out. So why is that? Um, there, there are a number of reasons for that, and the fundamental reason is that when you memorize a word, what happens really is you're putting into your brain the word in your own language and the word in the new language, and you're basically putting it into your brain into one particular spot. So one link. So this kind of technique for memorization works really well for things like phone numbers. Not that these days you have to remember them or memorize the numbers all in the phone, or capital cities of the world, or presidents, or who knows what. However, language is a far more complex thing than remembering two items linked together. So language is an expression of who we are. It's formed from complex relationships in our brains. So everything is interconnected with each other and who we are, and what we feel and what we think. So it's all put together in a very complex system in who we are, and our brain is part of that. So when you speak a language, everything of that comes together. So when you're actually memorizing, for example, a word, what you're expecting the brain to do is to grab that thing that has got no links apart from with the new language, with the new and old language, with one particular word, and incorporate it into a whole new neural network, whole new brain patterns in the new language. This is far too much to expect. The brain really can't do that. The brain's not equipped to take in spontaneously some things that were never integrated into the right frameworks when they were memorized. Now, of course, there are some people who can do this, and there are very few I've come across, and these are the ones who, at some point in their life, managed to transform this particular activity of memorization into the new language by some kind of processing, which has now, for the most part, become unconscious for them. So this is a skill they developed, not just memorization. They've got, on top of that memorization, they've learnt another skill that actually uses that process to bring it into the new language. And most of us, me included, are not capable of that. So unless you spend time building that skill, that particular exercise of memorization is going to yield very poor results. So really, you're wasting your time, in my opinion. I mean, there's a few words that may come through over time, but most people I've come across, me included, the results are very, very poor. And really, it's not something that I would recommend. And if you really want to learn the language, and actually not just learn it, but to use the language that you're learning, then I strongly suggest you stop this technique of memorization completely. Now, you may think, oh my God, how can I do that? How will I know the language? How will I memorize the new how will I learn the new vocabulary? Well, there are ways to do it. And these ways I will talk about in the next broadcast I make, probably in a day or two. But at the moment, my strong suggestion to you is stop the memorization. But just by doing that, what's going to happen is your brain will open up to, well, what else can I do? And that in itself is a positive move. And you may actually have things that will pop into your brain of what you could do. Virtually anything is preferable, because really you're putting your brain under some pressure that really the end result of that is, as you end up, because nothing really doesn't work so well, you end up believing that you're a bad language learner, you've got bad memory. That is not the truth. That only is happening because you're trying to remember these words in a way that's never going to work, or very, very seldom, as I said before. Anyway, I hope it's been of use to you. I'll talk to you next time about the sorts of things you could do to remember words really effectively. Till then, bye for now.